I think we have to figure it out after the fact as far as if there's who's responsible for this bill. Okay. Next item on the agenda here is what? This is LG&E easement, correct?
What you have before you is an easement document with two attachments or two exhibits to provide. The easements are for LG&E to put their overhead and underground facilities to provide three-phase power to the new animal control facility. Just asking for fiscal court to approve the judge executive to sign the easement, and then once that's done, or if that's done, LG&E will record these, and they'll be recorded at the clerk's office.
So moved.
Any discussion on this?
Yeah, did you say this was overhead or underground?
They're both,
Oh, okay.
one for each.
I've got a question.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Is this going to be a shared easement with anybody else?
This easement in particular is just LG&E.
Okay.
Anyone else? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Might ask Mr. Baxter here, we do have another easement request from LG&E. Is that making any progress in your office?
It actually has been approved.
Are you talking about the one in front of the detention center?
Yes.
Yeah, the language was approved, and
Yes. Oh, I think we just need to get the signed form.
you just got to get
from
the
you.
judge to sign it.
Okay. I'll check.
You've got it back.
Got it
Jim,
back.
Jim has
Okay.
it back, and it's been
Okay.
approved by, I can't think of the lady's name at LG&E. Has it back, and it's been
Okay.
approved by, I can't think of the lady's name at LG&E, but I do.
Delaney Gibbons, I think, or
Yeah,
Gibson.
I think she's approved both of these. So.
All right, what that was is LG&E asked for easement to go past the detention center with some of the work related to the 146, 393 project, and we asked that they not get in the ground, that all of the use of the easement be overhead.
That's correct.
All right,
So
okay.
I'll recheck my emails, make sure we've got the documentation, and I
Okay.
should be able to bring that to the first meeting in September.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Next item has to do with the Curry's Fork Watershed Grant with the Oldham County Soil and Conservation District.
Yes.
Jim?
So earlier when the library board gave their presentation, they mentioned partnerships, and I'll echo a great partnership we have with the Oldham County Soil and Water Conservation District. We get to share ideas and work with each other. Most recently, I was invited to join with an NRCS presentation given, and we met with Division of Water personnel, USDA personnel. It was a great opportunity. But again, that just echoes that partnership. What we've asked to do is you recall that Becca Truman, our previous Curry's Fork Watershed coordinator, recently resigned, went on to another job in the watershed or in the watershed industry, we'll say. And instead of trying to hire another watershed coordinator, in this partnership, we started discussing with the Soil and Water Conservation District the opportunity to partner with them. We originally were discussing actually trying to turn over the grants to the Conservation District. However, after discussing this with the Division of Water, they determined that because it's such a competitive grant process and the Soil and Water Conservation District wasn't involved in that, we actually, fiscal court applied for those grants. They couldn't just do that, and that makes sense. So the alternative, or I'll say the plan B or C, was that we enter into a subcontract or a memorandum of understanding with the Soil and Water Conservation District to act as this watershed coordinator. And it makes a lot of sense, understanding their involvement in that topic. And also Perry Thomas, who was formerly with the Division of Water and was involved in our internal project team discussions and this program, is actually now the district program manager for the Soil and Water Conservation District. So there's a lot of ways where this leans toward just being a great idea. So you have before you a memorandum of understanding. It was drafted by Perry Thomas with the district and reviewed by Barry Baxter and myself. And it outlines the involvement on the federal fiscal year 2020 and 22 grants. Oldham County Fiscal Court will finish up the 2019 grant, but this is for them to carry on and help us with the 2020 and 22 grants. So I ask that the fiscal court approve the judge to sign this memorandum of understanding so we can pursue that partnership.
Judge, I'd like to move that we approve, allow you to sign the fiscal 2020 and 2022 Curry's Fork Watershed Grant MOU with the Oldham County Conservation District.
Second.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Discussion, Magistrate Hounds.
So in the budget conversation, we had talked about doing this, and there were some pitfalls that were thrown at you and others. Have we gotten all those ironed out?
I think so, because ultimately, we will still be administering the funding portion of it and providing some oversight for bidding or consultation. So I think yes.
How about I know? I mean, I think doesn't get, I mean, I guess we don't know until we get into the process.
No, but again, I think, again, given the fact that, as I mentioned, Perry, who, she's here, if you'd like her to answer any questions, but she'll be involved directly through the district's portion, and having been involved in it at the Division of Water, there's a benefit there of us. We're not just hiring a new person, so.
Okay, the grants give me some trepidation because I don't want us to screw them up and then we have to pay back some money or pay some fees or whatever. I mean, Judge brings up every once in a while this FEMA grant that we had an audit. Every time he says it, he adds 4. So I think we're up to 16 times now or something. But I don't want to get into that position with this because we're administering it on our end. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, we will continue to administer it, and we're not just handing over the keys to our partner. We'll be involved through the remainder of the process over the next several years. Now, the further discussion has been that I think the Oldham County Soil and Water Conservation District can then choose to pursue these grants through that competitive process on their own if they'd like, and kind of take over from there. But as long as we are still the award recipients of those 2 grants, we need to continue our involvement.
And will that be a 3-year term, a 2-year term? Because you said 2019, and by my math, we're in 2023.
They alter.
By my math.
They've gone from 3 to 2 to multiple years. It changes based on the grant cycle.
Okay, thank you.
Magistrate Hawkins.
I spoke with Jim Silliman a couple of weeks ago about this, and Judge, I had sent you an email. I have some of the same concerns about who is controlling the rest of the money from 2019, and then you said 22 and 23. How much is left from the 2019 grant?
Well, the 2019 grant, we are working right now on the final report. It's, for all intents and purposes, done.
Okay.
We have to turn in our final report the end of this month for a completion by the Division of Water the following month.
And all that money's spent, right? Okay. And I know Becca had plans, with the willow stakes and then just the bank stabilization things and just a lot of education. So something that I was kind of thinking about since you and I talked was, I wonder if we could put somebody in the meetings with the Oldham County Soil and Water Conservation District as sort of a liaison so that fiscal court is present and has a representation with where that money is going to go, because we are essentially the ones that got the grant through Becca, and I know Becca's salary was paid quite a bit through that grant, and I wouldn't want to relinquish that. And based on what Magistrate Hound said, I agree with him about then in the future getting audited for it. I would just like to see one of us on at least that grant portion of the district.
Well, and again, because the funding is going to be processed through fiscal court, there will still be that review process by myself and the treasurer,
Yeah.
and again consultation with.
But it's
district.
review, it's after.
It's
So-
during also. Again, that
Yeah.
consultation period, we can discuss the level which we have to, but again, I want you to be clear and understand that we're not just turning over the keys and saying, run with this. we will be involved. We have to be involved.
An Environmental Recycling Utilities Committee can also review, like we've always done with Becca stuff, and then of course Engineering Department. It's just that's reviewing. That's after the fact. So I would like to see somebody there to help be on the front end of where it's being spent and how it's being spent.
Will this be brought through payables?
What's that?
Will these reimbursements be brought through payables?
They typically are.
So there would be a review process for when the payable shows up? Okay, I'm good there.
But not the beforehand. That would be the review after.
Well, a lot of the before is already established through the grants. There's only, the goals and objectives were part of the application process, and they're set in motion. So we really have we've got that map and framework established. We're asking for the Conservation District to help us carry that through.
Right, and you're able to go to any conservation district meeting that you choose.
Yeah.
And we can certainly
And,
ask them to attend the ERU meetings as necessary.
The last conservation meeting, by the way, I attended, do you still meet at 6:30 in the morning?
They do.
Okay, so I'm sure I'll see you there at several. Magistrate Jeffries.
Yes, just a couple things. Dr. Thomas has been with Division of Water for a long time, and she's, in my opinion, an expert on this, and I have no hesitation that, the Conservation District will, take these over and do a great job, and I think there's, they will be accountable. It goes through our payables and whatever, and so, I think that we need to go ahead and approve this. I think, I think we've got some good personnel. We've got some folks on the Conservation District that are accountable. They're elected officials also. There's, make up the Conservation District Board. So, I think without hesitation, I think Dr. Thomas will do a great job, and Mary Lowry is chairman of the Conservation District Board, and I think they will make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So I support this 100%.
Thank you.
Is Dr. Thomas here today?
Yes.
Okay, but would you like to just come forward and we can have a chance to meet you? And I sort of figured that's who you were there.
Yes. Perry Thomas, the District Program Coordinator with the Oldham County Soil and Water Conservation District. I did come to this job from the Division of Water, where I served as technical advisor to these projects. During the grant development process, during the development of the milestones, and in the actual final contracting. So I'm confident that the district will do a fine job in continuing to implement the projects.
All right, well, thank you very much, and we welcome you to the fiscal court meeting. I think this is the first time you've been here. I'm sure it won't be the last, and I hope you do well with this project, and I'm sure you will. And so,
Thank you all.
thank you. All right. Any further questions here? So we've got a motion on the floor and vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Now we're up to some personnel actions. Or personnel action. Okay. Okay.
We're bringing forward some personnel actions for the police today. We're going to skip over that first item.
All
We
right.
have some new hires for the police department. We have Ethan Southard. It's a 5-year lateral at $32.70 an hour. That's the base hourly rate effective on the 28th of this month. Don Gosney, a 5-year lateral at $32.70 per hour effective on the 28th. And he is actually a contract employee. He's retired, reemployed. And then Josh Myers as an SRO at, that should be $32.70 per hour base hourly rate. And that contract is also attached, and that's effective on the 17th of this month.
I'd like to make that motion, Judge, that we approve the hiring of Ethan Southard, Don Gosney, and Josh Myers.
Second.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Would like to ask,
Pardon?
I would like to ask Greg Smith where we are in hiring. Do we have, how many short are we still, if we're
No, not
short?
doing it.
And applaud
Right,
him
that's
for
why I just
getting
gave him a
3
note.
here.
I'd like to ask you, Tina, something too. Tina, where's the contract of the first
Say how
one?
many are retiring?
Edgar?
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I didn't get all the questions.
I just said, are we full now, or are we still
So we don't get
We
the
are
contract.
4 short after the hiring today.
4 short?
One SRO, 1 administrative sergeant, and 2 patrol officers.
Do we have any immediate people looking at retirement?
Yeah, we are. We got several. I mean, retiring? No. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Judge,
Magistrate Jeffries.
may I ask you, Chief, just one question about the flock cameras? Are they, I know they're up and running. I know you all you've utilized them at least once on an arrest. So are they working like you all hoped they would? Are they helpful?
You know, they are not as helpful as the first night. I mean, that was really a great one. But, you know, we are picking up a few things, odds and ends coming in. The one on 42 was kind of delayed being put in because of the location. We had trouble finding a location. Finally, Thornton's agreed to it, so we're going to put it there. But we haven't really got any big hits, but we've got some interesting, can't really say too much in court. We just got some things that we looked at that hit.
Are you still seeing as much folks breaking into cars and like we were? Or I haven't heard as much recently. Is that kind of slowed down a little bit?
You know, I wish you hadn't asked me that because I'm going to jinx this. We really have, it's really been cut that back a lot. You know, we initiated a program for neighborhood checks. We have the officers going to neighborhoods and they call off checking what neighborhoods they're in. We require that of our officers today, and the frequency of doing that shows more cars in neighborhoods. And we think that's having an effect because we're not having near the thefts out cars that we were. Last month, we had 1 stolen car in July. In August, we had a stolen car the very first night. You know, so they're down considerably than what they were. So we're hoping that that's helping. Also, daytime burglaries are down in we think the same reason, because the officers are making a real dedicated effort to get into neighborhoods and be seen. You know, so we hope it's working.
Thank you.
Like I said, I probably just jinxed ourselves, and the night they'll hit us.
Thank you, sir.
Magistrate Tice.
Yeah, let me ask one question. We're having an HOA meeting at the end of this month. Could I call you and maybe get one of the officers to come by and tell us about the flock and what it would cost our subdivision if we wanted to participate in it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm sure they could answer questions a whole lot better than I, but I'm thinking it would be good for what I'm talking about.
Actually, I talked to Mayor Kramer and Crestwood. They're going to invest in 4.
Yeah. Would I ask for anybody particular, just ring it through you?
Just call me and I'll have somebody set it up. If they can't, I'll come.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank
Okay. I have some appointments here to the, first of all, to the Stormwater Management District Board, to reappoint Will Douglas for a term to expire September 1st, 2027. Will has agreed to continue on, but alert the court that I am looking for someone that for a competent replacement for Will. Will would, like to step down, but he's agreed to continue on until we have someone to take his place. So, is there a motion to reappoint? I'm going to make this motion and ask for a second.
Second.
All right. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And also to the Planning and Zoning Commission to reappoint Bob Klingenfuss for a term to expire September 4th, 2027.
I'd like to move that we appoint him for a term through 2027.
Second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We're at our second public comment now. If there's anybody here who would like to address the fiscal court, we're able to do so at this point. Don't really see anyone unless Dr. Thomas wants to come back and say something. We're probably out of speakers for public comment. So I'm gonna make a motion. We go into closed session now pursuant to KRS 61.810 subsection B, deliberations of the future acquisition or sale of real property by a public agency. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Yes, right. Okay, and we're going to have Kevin Nuss and Barry Baxter and Stan Clark join us for these. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Christopher,
What are you, Mr.?
MR.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have now returned from executive session. Is there a motion we go back into session?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We're back in session now, and we're actually at the conclusion of our meeting today. We don't have anything to announce from the executive session, but we may have some announcements to share with the community. So for those of you who view our program on Oldham County Fiscal Court TV, Magistrate Likens, do you have anything?
Thank you, Judge. I think some of us are going to the governor's local conference tomorrow through Friday down at the Galt House. And I think what we were talking about before with the pool situation is it's all conjecture right now until we figure out what happened and why it happened and who could be at fault for that. So I will dig into that, pardon the pun.
All right. Thank you. Magistrate Tice.
I have nothing today. Thank you, though.
Magistrate Woosley.
Judge, the date was January 15th, 1824. Magistrate Tice said it was a cool Thursday morning. Oldham County was named the 74th county in the Commonwealth, and next year is our 200th anniversary. I know Project Guild's got some stuff planned, so I didn't know if the county had anything planned to celebrate the 200th year.
What was that date you gave there in the beginning?
January 15th, 1824.
Oh, January 18. So we became a county. Did the legislature approve that in December of 1823? That it become effective in 1824, or was it?
I'm going to have to pass that off to Magistrate Tice. I wasn't around then.
Right,
did.
that's
It did. It
And Magistrate Tice was in the
Well, that's a
court
question
back
I
then.
had, but no, we haven't generated any thought process on that yet, but I think we will and should.
I know Project Guild's got some stuff going, so we may want to connect
It's
with them.
coming up.
Yeah.
Right.
The only other thing I have is we had at some point talked about looking at weather sirens, and I was contacted by actually two constituents who live in the northeast part of the county who says they can't hear weather sirens. So is that something that we're going to review, or have you reviewed?
Well, the subject of weather sirens has come up before, and basically the thought was that so many people have cell phones, TV, radio, that there aren't that many people who are out of touch like they may have been at one time. And so we have our smart 911 system. It was just, I think the thought was that it wasn't something we wanted to pursue. The counties that do have, let's say, more weather sirens than we do, I believe Shelby and Bullitt may have, but they don't have the smart 911 system operational. So, don't want to say that someone outside, if you were outside and it was storming and a tornado was coming, I don't think you'd be totally surprised that the weather was poor and that you might need to take cover. But it's something that can be talked about. But in the past, prior courts have not been willing to fund new sirens.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Judge, just a couple things. I know Commerce Parkway from the 393 side towards Allen Lane is going to be closed. It was closed, I think, yesterday and today, and they're putting a sewer line across, and they've got to close Commerce here probably for the next week or so. It's supposed to be open at night and on weekends when they're not actually working. But I know it was closed yesterday, and I think it was closed today. So just want to make folks aware of that. Also, Blakemore Lane was scheduled to be closed on kind of the same schedule starting on the 7th of August, but LG&E has postponed that, and we don't know exactly when they're going to do that, but they're installing or putting a gas line back on Blakemore Lane, and that will also be closed coming up here in the next few weeks. So we'll try to keep everybody up to date, as that process moves forward, but it looks like that's going to be closed again during the day, but it will be open at night and on the weekends, is what our understanding is.
All right, great. Thank you. Magistrate DeHowens.
Thank you, Judge. School started for most of most of us in the area, which means you should probably leave your house 5-10 minutes earlier during the school traffic so you can get there on time. Ask everybody to be patient with the new drivers that are out there driving to school for the first time in the buses. Yesterday and one day last week when I was taking my son to school, it was amazing the number of people that don't adhere to that stop sign that comes out on the school bus. It's there for your protection and for that child's protection, because how would you feel if you were to encounter a child walking across the street? I don't think you'd be real happy with yourself. So pay attention to those stop signs and make sure that you adhere to that. It is a law that you do stop when that stop sign is out on a school bus. Thank you.
Thank you. Magistrate Hawkins.
Nothing today, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Magistrate Dye.
You mentioned, what channel can they see this Oldham County TV?
Oldham County, we basically have two lines of streaming on the white YouTube channel. You can pick up our Oldham County Fiscal Court has our meetings on it, all plus Planning Commission and other meetings. And then Oldham County Television has the other programs that are made that have been recorded and put together. So
That's on the cable.
yes, right.
What's the number?
Well, it's not on cable. It's on YouTube television.
So nothing's on cable anymore.
No, we discontinued cable a couple of years ago. We just didn't feel it was.
Well, I thought they gave it to us for free.
Well, they do, but it was still an effort to get it, and they. I don't want to really say they didn't cooperate, but they moved our channel from 25 to 184, and I won't say it got lost in the shuffle, but we didn't feel we had that many viewers. So.
And second, the I-71, they're moving along on that between Jefferson County and the Crestwood exit. And I can tell that the northbound side is almost completed. I was coming in here today and I noticed a front end of a bumper off of a car from an auto accident
Oh, really?
laying over in the gravel. You know, so I could tell at that point that that bumper is that's kind of like I guess a rite of passage for the road now. I thought the record drivers were supposed to pick that up, but apparently they didn't get the email. So, thank you.
All right. Magistrate Logston.
Yes, Judge. Just Saturday, Crestwood at the Maples is going to have a balloon. It's kind of like a balloon tethered where they take kids up, or anybody can go up if they want to. Just get a ticket and wait your turn. But they'll have food trucks. There's going to be a band there called Billy Goat Strut. So it's a local band. So please come out and enjoy your time. Again, it'll be from 6 to 9 on Saturday. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And I don't really have anything to add today to the magistrates. I appreciate all of you being here today, and we'll be meeting again at 9 o'clock.
9:30.
9:30, is it?
I thought it was 9:30.
9 o'clock on the 28th
9
of
o'clock
August.
on, August
Okay, 9
28th here again for a special meeting. And we'll primarily deal with the reapportionment, but there may get one or two other things added. I'm not sure. But that'll be at 9 o'clock
9 o'clock.
on August 20th. So
28.
28th. Yep.
is there a motion, pardon?
28.
28th. Did I say something?
You said 20th.
20th. All right. On the 28th. Let's get it right. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.